every single one. Each one's joined and united in the one. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Yuchad. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. The one, every single one. Each one joined and united in the one. And this last time, we'll say it all together. We'll just say it, but we'll sing the one. So this will be our invocation. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. Echad Yachid Umi Yuchad. The one, every single one. Each one's joined and united in the one. Good morning. I'm going to share my screen and show you I'll show you the picture from last time and another one. These are both Robbie Donaghy's artwork. He is an amazing artist. If you ever want to look him up on Facebook, it's one of the things going to Facebook. It makes it worthwhile to see his newest postings. But and he's given us permission to always use his art, which is such a sweet thing. So these are more about universal mind or holy omniscience. And I'm going to just kind of take off from where we've been talking about this, which is that this larger awareness, this that is so big, which is that we are both a part of the whole, part of the cosmos. We are totally inseparable from it, and yet totally unique. And through our connection with the universe, you could say, this is what we talked about last time, that we are asking to be the eyes of the universe. You could say the whole holy omniscience is the divine mind or the divine face, and we are being asked to be the eyes. And what does that mean? So to be the eyes means to be transparent, so things can get in. We're not blocking. We're not saying, no, that doesn't work for me. It's like everything can come in.
We might have a part that says that, but we ask them to step aside, or we work with them a little bit.
Right.
Not that that won't happen.
And we take, obviously, action where we need to take action, but we let it in. So we're transparent and we're completely open. And when that happens, we actually give back to the universe the information of reflection, of just all the different dimensionality that exists, the colors, the flavors. It's like our senses are being used by the entire universe to know itself. So it's an awesome, you could say, responsibility.
I was just out in our garden this morning, and I felt there was an element of holy transparency. I mean, it was easy because it was all lovely visions, the sun on the daffodils and the forsythia and all the vegetable starch you'd planted and the dewdrops and the stuff, but it was like just opening to that, really letting it in rather than all the little different parts hijacking in different directions. So that wasn't an inner holy transparency, but it was outer.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that because this work of seeing the unity that is both within and without is not exactly easy being with boundaries, right? So we see the boundary of the floor, we see the boundary of our arm, everything has a boundary, and these make up the differences, but we catalog them in our minds as this is what makes us separate and different. And so what happens with that is that we aren't just a part of the bounty of the outside world and we're like another color, another flower, another wave in the divine ocean. No, we become our own separate waves. So what happens is we literally, we're like a wave without an ocean, which is, you can see it's a really scary imagining because it's like, there's all this around us and we're just this tiny little wave that comes in, and how do we regroup? How do we get our lives together? Oh my God, it's a little bit frightening to even think about being just one little wave.
A wave without an ocean.
Yes. And so that's what happens, is that we believe then we're just that wave, and we become in relationship with the rest of the universe. So what does that mean when we come in relationship with it? We are no longer it. We're no longer a part of it. We're no longer, we are no longer inseparable. We are now distinctly different, and we try to form a relationship with it. That relationship can be, why did you do this to me? I can't believe that you're making this happen again. How many times do we say that to God? Or, how come the world is like this? All that is our separation. because we don't see ourselves as being part of this whole.
Especially the judgment and the judging mind.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the judging mind, it creates differences, distinctions, and we can go into the judgments, I think, next time. But this one, we're really going to look at that without being part of the ocean, so to speak, this larger divine cosmos, or kind of being like a tiny little piece of a cell without the rest of the cell boundary and everything to live in, we're floating in space. And so this creates a sense of no support. So that's really what I want to bring today, is that juxtaposition between that what happens when we don't feel inside we have support, when we feel that we're separate, and how that begins to create this fine tension throughout our bodies. Right? The tension is responsible for a lot of pain. The tension is responsible for illness, all sorts of things, but it creates that sense of I'm separate. I'm not really a part of this whole thing.
You're talking about the separation and the isolation, and I think about that. Studies, the opposite of addiction is community. And you can think of AA and that, people we go and we're a part of a whole. It opens us up to be more transparent in a certain area.
Yeah, exactly. And so
that's what we're doing here.
We're drawing attention to our community here, and to remembering that we do have support. And even if we can't remember the larger support right now, we're going to play with that today as we go into our induction. And it's going to be pretty similar to last time, so don't worry. It's got that wonderful heartbeat that so you can see the worry is all part of no support. I'm not going to fit in. I don't know what to do. How is she going to do it today? Is it going to work? All of that is that sense of like, oh my God, is what's going to happen for me okay and part of this whole universe?
So you'd say the intention for this work is to feel the unity and the diversity.
Well, the intention is to feel the heartbeat. I'm going to take it down to a really basic thing. So we're going to breathe and just feel that heartbeat. You can bring it into your own body if that helps. And begin to just keep coming back to that heartbeat. We're part of the planet. Maybe we can't quite fathom right now being part of the cosmos, but just let's start with we are integrally connected to the heartbeat of this planet. Because this is right now a lot of the outer world that we see. The planet, our planet, different people on the planet. So we're going to feel into both the ways that we feel connected, and notice when we don't. So we're going to start with the fact that we have feet and legs and muscles and bones, and they make up different looking things that create a body. They make up feet. So let yourself feel your feet today. How do they feel in relationship to the earth? And know that the earth is underneath you, even while you're feeling your feet. You can let them touch the earth lightly. You can stamp it. There's no right way. It's how your feet want to be connected, to be felt today. If they feel a lot of tension, let them feel tension. It's okay. Bringing in that breath, deep, rich, full breaths in, deep, rich, full breaths out. Using that breath as our intention to stay connected to the earth. to our muscles and bones and our whole legs, our kneecaps, our knees. Feel all that whole leg piece. It seems like the leg is just like this extraneous kind of appendages, and yet they're connected in. They're also connected to the earth. And just feel how the bones inside you, the muscles inside you are all part of this earth. We're not any different, and yet we are. We're unique, but we're inseparable. Keep coming back to those differences. What makes you think you're different, that you are not the same, made of the same stuff of the earth? Coming up into your hips, and feel the muscles and the bones, the very delicate muscles of the pelvic floor that do so much work for us. What makes us think we're separate in our pelvis? Our genitals? How big or small we are? Just letting these parts know they're all part of the earth, all part of this heartbeat of the planet. The planet that's part of the solar system, that's part of the cosmos. And then feeling up into your belly area, solar plexus, all of those organs housed in there, the fascia between all of the organs. Let's see how they feel today. If there's anything in there that makes you think you're different, that you're separate, not that you're just unique, but that you aren't the same as everybody else. You are just a wave on your own. And keep coming back to the breath, deep, rich, full breaths, breathing in and out of the nose. Maybe you think pain in an area makes you separate. See if you can hold that pain as Ramakrishna would say, the ulcer in my throat is an ulcer on the planet, on the goddess, on the universe. So feel that pain, if you have it in your body, as the pain of the universe. It's coming uniquely through you. And let yourself go all the way up into your upper chest, your heart, feeling again those intercostal muscles even, and between all of the lungs, the ribs. The muscle even of the lungs. Muscles in your shoulders. How do they feel today? It's so unique who you are in your own body and how your body moves, and at the same time it's all connected to this planet underneath our feet, to the solar system, to the heartbeat, to the cosmos. Continuing to breathe deep, rich, full breaths, letting the exploration go all the way down into your fingertips and your wrists and your arms, feeling how they feel today, all the muscles and the bones in them. Do they want to stretch? Letting all parts of your body that might want to move in a particular way, like your arms. Let everything move in that way. They can all stretch or they can all flex. Breathing deeply and feeling the muscles and how the earth receives us. Every time we move, it's there underneath us with the heartbeat. And then letting yourself go up into your neck and your head and feel the muscles, the bones that connect all the way from the sacrum up through the very top where your skull is placed. Breathing into this area, letting yourself stretch it or feel into it, and just notice if anything makes you think you're different in a way that makes you separate. Letting your whole body infuse with the breath, infuse your muscles and your bones, and feeling that sense of that connection to the earth, your connection to your own earthiness inside of you, your little planet. Being held by this large planet. And coming back again to that wonderful breath. Deep, rich, full breaths. Feeling the heartbeat. And transitioning to water. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And beginning to let that liquidity come into your body. Feel what it feels like to be part liquid. For the blood's running in your veins. Big, rich, deep breaths in. Big, rich, deep breaths out. Coming back to the beat and the water breath. Feeling that little bit of flow constantly going on in the body, or actually a lot. And feeling how we can sometimes make ourselves separate from that flow. And just bringing ourselves right back in holding whatever place wants to think or not be in the flow. And gently coming into the fire breath. Breathing in through the mouth, deep, rich, full breaths. Out through the nose. And as you do that, we're going to transition into feeling the vibration. Feeling that sense of what it's like to connect with the nervous system of the body, the energy, the light. So we're going to let the body shimmer. You can let the legs shimmer as you breathe in. Letting the pelvis and hips shimmer. Breathe in those deep, rich, full breaths. It's the breath of light. It's the breath of energy. We're connected to the sun. To the light that exists in this universe. And we are constantly recycling energy in our bodies. Let that shimmer come all the way up into your torso. Let your body feel the shimmer up into your shoulders. All the way up into your hands and your arms. You feel the energy that is you. Maybe there's places that feel more dead, that you can't quite shimmer, or areas that you're afraid to breathe into. That's okay. Just let that awareness be there even as you breathe. Even as you feel that heartbeat in the background. And feel it all the way coming up into your neck and your head. It's like what you see when you see the sun shining on water. That kind of shimmering. Let yourself shimmer. Just like it warms up the water. We're being warmed by this energy of light that we have inside of us. It's what allows us to keep our temperature at 98 point whatever it is for each of you. Feeling the way we're connected to this bigger light of the universe. And letting yourself continue to really hear that lovely shimmering all the way inside. And as you continue to hear that beat with the fire breath, feel the effects on your body as you let yourself become more aware of that light that exists inside, the water, the flow, the earth. And shifting your breath, your breathing to the air breath, in and out through the mouth. Letting yourself feel that way that air comes in. The air all around us, we are certainly a part of it. And as we go into ether, we just let our whole being be breathed. And we begin to really feel that integration of all these different parts of ourselves, our unique body construction that formed of our own muscles and bones, fascia, organs, that earth element, that flow that we have of water, the blood circulating. That beautiful energy sparkling inside, shimmering, our own light. And the air. As we let this just work its magic on us, let's have a seat. And as we sit, we're just finding the body that can be the vessel for us right now, this beautiful holding container for the eye of the heart, that eye of the universe that we spoke to. And we first just look around inside and allow ourselves to get settled in. Let ourselves feel the connection to the larger world too, so we don't feel like we're just some small wave, isolated. We're going to breathe from the center of the earth all the way up into our hearts. And as we exhale, we'll breathe out of the heart to the whole world. But particularly forming also our own little place to go inside in our own hearts, pulling from that energy of the earth, letting it radiate a very special place for us. Our own way in which we feel connected to the cosmos. Maybe we see that as being a part of a garden or being in this huge temple. However you see your connection to the universe, allow your heart to really form that for you, whether as a picture or as a sensation, a feeling, a memory. And then breathe in also at the same time from the cosmos, through your crown, down through your third eye, into the heart. So you're breathing from below and from above, all the energies of the universe into your heart, and then creating, remembering that what you see from your heart, that's what you're creating in the universe. And letting that special temple, garden, your universe, unfold.
As you continue to breathe gently, rich, fully, deeply in and out of your heart, just using my words as a guide. You may move faster or slower, get your own guidance in your soul work today. And just really feeling the cosmos coming into the heart, the earth coming up into the heart, feeling those two energies. And just resting there, just taking where Yaya led us and just resting there for a few moments, just really being with the sacred space of your heart. And if there's selves that are worried or planning, you can invite them to just be with you. They can just step aside or relax just for these few moments. Let them know whatever they're doing, they're a part of your heart also. And then with love and respect, call upon High Self to come into the garden, the sacred space of your heart. Again, in whatever shape, way, or form, whether it's just that intention, or whether there's an image, visual image that arises, or a kinesthetic image, a felt sense, or a sound or guidance comes through, in whatever way, through whatever senses, or perhaps through multiple senses. Just taking a few moments to breathe in the blessings of High Self, and to breathe back love and gratitude. And opening to any guidance from High Self on how to support you in being the eyes of the universe, the eyes of the cosmos, the eyes of the beloved, so that you can view and be aware of what's happening outside, and allow the different selves that go into survival and fears or worries or planning or fixing, to them to just see and be there, but not get lost in them. How can you be transparent enough so that you can just witness all that arises outside and witness all that arises inside? And remembering that there's so much information arising inside at any moment and so much outside that our brains, in a way, filter that based on our culture, our species, our individual. But for a moment, almost imagining, if you wish, that the eye, your inner eye, the eyes of the universe are like an insect's eye. That have all these thousands of different lenses, all a composite. They form a whole, but they can view all these different things at the same time. To take a moment to just turn this expanded eye, just like in that image of the green man, all these different eyes. Imagine in your heart, the eye of the heart is multifaceted, and it can see everything, everywhere, all at once. Starting with inside, just notice all the different selves, the energies, the currents, the feelings, the sensations. Just, you have an eye that can notice every different thing, and yet they're forming a composite. So starting with the body that Yaya led us through, Just witnessing, feeling, sensing the eyes of the heart, noticing all the different aspects of the body, and yet it's one body. You can notice all different things all at once, and yet it's forming a composite of your body, this body self. And then all the different parts, you might notice them as different patterns of sensations or feelings or images or thoughts or behaviors. You can feel perhaps different parts arising and just see them all right now. And if that's hard, you can imagine all the different parts of you you've known perhaps today so far or yesterday. The ones that plan, the ones that get worried, the ones that are enraptured and enjoy, the child selves that are wounded, or soul child, or masculine or feminine selves, or the judge self. Just notice all the different selves that may arise. And you can just witness them all, knowing that they're part of one large whole, which is the mystery of you, this unique individual again. Not trying to do anything different with them, just noticing the richness of your inner ecosystem of all these different selves. They make the ocean of your being, the symphony of your being. It's almost like if you've ever been to a museum and seen the pointillist, you can see it doesn't look like anything, all these different points. And when you step back, it all comes into this whole. And you can toggle back and forth, experiencing the separate parts, and yet they form this whole. And we don't want to leave anything out, any aspect of ourselves. Really allowing the love, the light of high self to infuse you and expand your inner eyes so you can just hold and see your whole inner landscape, your whole inner life. Knowing sometimes it's important to focus on, feel the whole of the body. Sometimes it's important to focus on a different part of the body. Sometimes it's indifferent to just feel all your cells. Sometimes to really focus and come into dialogue with one. But right now we're just holding both. Being transparent, asking for help from high self to be transparent enough to just hold and see it all inside. And if you get lost with the part or blended with, you can just come back to the center, to your heart, and just, oh, there's another part. Each of us such a beautiful energy flow with all different currents of energy and information flowing through our psyches, forming a rainbow whole. And you You can just stay with your inner world if you want. You can bring this multifaceted eye that sees all the parts and also makes a unity out of them. You can imagine that. Just imagine all of us here together with all our different selves. It's almost like when we're looking at that zoom image, it's like the insect eye, we can see all the parts making up the whole of this Soulwork Sangha right now. See, feel, hear, sense, imagine all of us with all our parts. You may notice a part is drawn. Just relax, we're being transparent, we're opening to the whole right now, seeing all the facets of unity. And then you can stay with that, or you can let it expand out into the whole world. Just expanding out to all the different people, all, whether it's in your neighborhood or watershed or the whole North America or the 8 billion people on the planet, and then all the insects, all the animals, the fish, the birds, all life. Just open to being aware how this forms the whole of Gaia, this one beautiful being, and yet there's so many fascinating parts. Be that green man from that Robbie Donaghy image of all the eyes holding, sing it all. And as you do that, you may find different selves pulled one way or another. Just saying right now, we're just opening to all of it. And all that arises inside as we opened all of it. That we're feeling the unity and multiplicity of Gaia, of the outer world, and of our inner worlds at the same time. As you're ready, just returning to your breath, feeling the breath of unity that holds all the diversity of all the currents of energy and information that arise inside you, whether you're becoming aware of the outer world or your inner world or both. And just taking a moment to just feel your physical boundary and let it soften. So it's transparent, you're not completely dissolved, but you're feeling all of life inside and outside. There's a little thin membrane, but it's transparent. So you're separate and yet joined. Separate and in relation. It's the distinctions and differences which create the diversity, which create all these integrated human beings. All these pearls with all the colors. Each pearl has all the colors of the rainbow in it. And just thanking all the selves Thanking all of reality for being here with you today. Hi, self, any cells you've noticed. Just allowing this inner and outer awareness as we do two who's, one to our inner life, and then coming up to our outer life. And taking a moment to have that soft gaze, you can sit in meditation and reflect on your journey, or maybe there's something you want to draw or write or stretch or anything you need to do to take care of yourself. And as you're ready, we'd love to hear from you about your experience, and you can unmute or type it in the chat. If you type it in the chat, Yaya, whose eyes are better than mine, will read it. And Maria, Rahima, and Mick are off for their wedding anniversary week. So that's
In
why.
New Orleans.
In New Orleans. Yeah, Majid.
I just want to share what a strong impact that your Yaya wave when you said like a wave, and of course I love waves. Many of you know hung around me for a bit that I love going to Mazatlan and walking along and seeing the waves coming up, and I just love all of that. So she said the wave, and I just went up with this beautiful wave, and she said with no ocean, and that wave went all in different directions and searching for this ocean. And but then I got a grip and said, okay, the ocean's really there. So that was just interesting, a surprise, but it did have this huge impact because it just that made me realize how solidly I know that ocean is there and that it's always going to be there. That's why I go back. Yeah, those waves are still, they really haven't changed any. For when I've been going for 40 years, by golly, they keep doing that. And I still count on that. So even the suggestion that it wasn't there, but then the realization, yes, indeed, it is there. And I do have a strong connection. I am a water sign. And that just kind of helped me through all the rest of the visualization, just to kind of go in deeper and with more trust and more. And then even in when we into the soul work of opening up to the wider world, I started to go in, oh no, I can't do that. I got too much going on in my own world. I can't deal with. Yeah, I can. I have the whole ocean. Okay. So anyway, that was an interesting journey. Thank you.
Thank
That's
you so much.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see that's such a powerful symbol for you to be able to
Yeah.
hold that's
Yeah.
what really opens you.
Yes, right. And Mount Rainier. So I've got that other sign too. That's another one that's just yes. So I'm in good hands. And so thanks for jarring me into realizing how solidly I know that's there.
Great. Thank you.
Insu, was that a hand?
Yeah,
I thought so.
You have to leave them up longer for me. I don't see them.
that's true. I apologize. So, I wanted to share that in the past I've had that experience, Yaya, of being completely out in the universe, and it is scary. And I just wanted to share with everybody. I felt this lovely practice was good preparation for that, should one ever experience it. And instead of a wave without an ocean, it was like my being without Gaia.
Mhm.
So that was part of the scary part of beingness without the body.
Mm.
Where would, what was next? Where would I go? What would being be like? And so um, I think many years later now, I don't have that fear in the same way, but I wouldn't be surprised if that experience unfolded again if the fear was still there. But I would feel more at ease with the fear and being able to um, meet and assure what was underneath that fear.
Yeah.
And then allowing whatever further experience wanted to reveal itself. So I
Beautiful.
want to share with everybody how I really appreciated this practice to get today with both of you. And it was scary. The other thing I wanted, there's so much happened, I just briefly want to share that how I feel separate is with the word think. The word feel, I don't experience separation so much. But for me, the mind has just been such a barrier and such a load that even the word think now, and I never read Descartes. I only remember that one line, I think, therefore I am. And I just feel like that has led Western civilization down a horrible, wrong track because I feel like when I love, I am.
Mm.
When there is love, we are. So I'm, a long time ago, I ditched Descartes, which really, um, you know, the illuminated souls bring us to that heart and that love. And so that's where it's the mind for me, the mind jumping in, where suddenly there's this separation. And it's like very jarring. And then I have to like, oh, you could just stay with your breath. Not every, we all use words a little differently. Don't be attached to the words. There's the feeling that she's giving, and then, okay, because the mind is always whirling, just calm down. And then the separation can dissolve.
Right.
And we're seeing that real neural basis of the left mode of processing, which makes the distinctions and differences and causes it to divide. Whereas the right mode, which is so eclipsed, as you commented, in our culture especially, creates that sense of unity. So in Soulwork, we're really trying to hold both. And what's it like to open and feel the diversity in the whirl of the mind, too, of the thinking from the place of conscious self? It's like so much, but we could feel we're each at different places, and you could feel in that unity experience. It was terrifying to not, I think you were saying, be identified with the body, because that's how we know ourselves. That's the deepest identification is with the body. And then, it's like, yeah, that's can be scary. And I love the way you're bringing that soul work in, because you thought if that happens in the future, I'll feel that, and then I'll get to what's underneath that. You're pointing towards whatever part it was that is terrified, whatever self is terrified, because the little ones in us are really terrified of that. They had to form a self, and oftentimes in that early half a year to year, not the best holding environment in our culture anyway, for most of us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so, and what it brings up for me too is I just want to say something about the thinking, which is that if we can bring in the thinking with love, right? If you can imagine that, just like kind of round it up with like, wow, you're discriminating into all these judgments again, or that this is right or wrong, or whatever the thinking does, because that's what thinking does, right? It's very discreet. So love.
Well, it wasn't that the thinking was bad, is that for me, suddenly there was that separation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there was the work, right? And then I had to think, oh, words are just used differently by different people, and then I could relax.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, who else?
I think Mary Colby had her hand up in there. Yeah.
That's Sushila.
Sushila. Where's it?
Yeah, the part where we were just breathing and shimmering, I had this experience of looking out the window with the sun shining on the treetops and and I wrote its words came to me, which I couldn't remember, but I tried to write something like that, and this is what I got. Sun shining on, no, breathing, shimmering, sun shining on the treetops, awe, light shining from me, awe, light shining from you, awe.
Oh.
And it was so beautiful, and just loved it. And
Thank you.
Wow.
One of those places where they all came together.
Mm.
And each with their own little light. Anybody else?
Yeah, Michael.
Oh, yeah. I find myself a little impatient with the induction, and I'm realizing that it's because I've already done the breaths before we do this earlier in the morning, but I'm realizing that, okay, this is getting this into my body, and this is good. But and I was just being an oak tree and then seeing that yin yang symbol in my heart. But Marianne came in really strong, and I just wanted to say you can get more stinking from thinking than you can from drinking, but the feel is for real. I had to bring in Joe a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
The meditation was exquisite for me.
And the next time, Michael, you feel the impatience, begin to be curious, who's that? What part of me is impatient?
Yeah, I was just gonna get in that.
Yeah,
And
good.
who has to
But-
get, where do they think they have to
Yeah,
get?
I know. I've got all these parts that think they need to be anywhere but right here, right now. It's like,
Right.
Laurel,
And this is what's happening right now. And I'm just looking outside. I got 15-foot camellias with pink and red blossoms on. And then I'm in here with you guys and just really soaking it up. So thank you.
I just have to comment on you, Laurel. Your background, sometimes it's just you're all in light.
it's so exquisite.
You represent the light part of our patchwork quilt. You're just like, woo, this vibration coming through. So, thank you.
All right.
Good to see you all.
Have a wonderful week, or
Yeah.
have a week, whatever week you're going to have, and witness it all, whatever happens, and be kind to all your different selves, whatever they do. Okay.
Yahoo!
Yahoo.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I love that, Ella.